Hello, people. We are live as we sit here and talk and give our live reaction to the Google for Game Developer Summit keynote. A lot of big news is supposed to be made today, so let's get into it.
Stay sick cause I follow my gut. They say I was pushing my luck. I'ma push me a matte all black truck. I'm not sorry.
All right. Hey, people, what is going on? With no further ado, because I know you're not here for me. You could give two rat asses about me. I have Brian from Club Stadia here. Brian, what is going on, my friend? How you been? Yeah, this is gonna. So what we've been hearing, we were talking about this a little bit behind the scenes. Is what we've been hearing is that this is supposed to be some heavy dropping news today. You know, and we'll soon see. Let me hold on. Can you know what? Say something again, Brian. I want to make sure people can hear you. They can't even hear you. Hold on. How about now? Go ahead, try it now. Nah, they can't. Oh, crap. What did I do? What did I do? All right. I got to check my audio. See, this is why we did this 15 minutes early. They came here for you and they can't even hear you. That's it. Stupid. MM2 stupid. That's going to be my new name. Let's try it like this. Okay. Say something now, Brian. Okay, that didn't work. Try it now.
Hello.
Okay, there you go. That's weird. How come I can't? You know what? I'm gonna try something else though, but definitely they can hear you now. Say hi to Brian, everybody. He says, "Okay, yeah, I know, Michael. I'm old, man. I didn't have my Geritol enough time. I'm sorry, but I got him on now. You guys should be able to hear him." Everyone's like, "We're leaving. We can't hear Brian." I know my family treats me the same way. They can care less about me, but no. So, Brian, we were talking a little bit, now that everyone can hear you, we were talking a little bit before the show. Fill everybody in. May not be a big surprise because these are the two hottest games out on the platform right now, but what you been gaming on this over the past week?
A lot of Division 2 and Doom. That's primarily all it's been for me. Doom Eternal has been just a hell of a game. It's been a blast. It's been a lot harder than I'd hoped for, though, because I'm on the 3rd difficulty, and you definitely need to keep moving and keep shooting. That's all I can recommend. But it's been a hell of a time.
Absolutely, yeah. That dude. And I apologize for those of you that have watched me play that and fail at it miserably. I'm sorry. That's all I can say. Because we were joking earlier. I had about 30 people watching, and it quickly dropped to 5. And I don't blame you, because I rewatched it, and it was painful to watch myself. But I've caught on towards the end for those that held in their throw up and was able to bear it. I got better, so the next time I do the stream, it'll be a lot more fun. What are your thoughts on the game, the difficulty and everything, Brian?
It's been a challenge. I know at the first game I had to turn up the difficulty because it was just too easy for me, and I needed a little bit of a challenge to keep my interest when I was doing the gameplay aspect of it. So I'm on the 3rd level of difficulty, and it does present that challenge, but it feels really good when you actually get through a level or mission, rather that you've done something worth your time. And it take me a little longer to actually play through the game because of this, but I've enjoyed what I've got so far.
Yeah, I love it, and I'm going to be honest. I wasn't, and I've said this on numerous occasions. I, for one, was not a big fan of Doom 2016. Just me. I mean, I just wasn't a fan of. Not that I thought it was a bad game at all. Just what they call it, the Twitch shooters. Like I tell people,
Yeah.
I got enough twitching in my life. I'm that damn old, so I don't need anything more complicated than that. That being said, it just wasn't for me. But this one, it's like so many layers to it, man. The platforming, there's a lot more strategy to it than meets the eye. Wouldn't you say, Brian?
Oh yeah, a lot of strategies definitely involved, and uh, a weapon that is only specific for a specific opponent is absolutely necessary. Like those big eyeball things, you need to have your shotgun out and shoot the sticky grenade at them, take them down. So you need to pick and choose your weapons wisely.
Absolutely, you do, and it masterfully forces you to utilize every single weapon and every single skill at your arsenal. There is no, well, I just like this, so I'm sticking with this. That's not gonna fly, So
Exactly.
Yeah. So, Brian, let me ask you, because again, they're not here for me. They definitely want to hear from you.
This is your channel, man. That's what they're here for.
But it's like before Cleveland got LeBron, people just went and bought Cavaliers tickets to see the other stars, right? So I get why everyone's here, But what am I going to say? Oh yeah. So what is it that you expect? Because we only got 9 minutes. Let's talk about some of our thoughts and guesses and predictions. What is it that you expect to hear today?
I expect to hear maybe a roadmap for the second quarter of Stadia. So me, Eddie, and Chase went over the Stadia in the New Year blog post again the other day and talked about the quarter one expectations that the team had. And since this is kind of a development side of things, I could see we could find more about the quarter two side of things. So whether that might be the implementation of some YouTube features and stuff like that, that's what I expect. I don't expect like a base announcement or anything consumer front, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. Yeah, a lot of people, it is surprising. We'll see. I mean, a lot of people are not expecting to hear from base, even though we've had the talks about the breakdown of the APKs and base, and Stadia Pro and all the other stuff, as far as like some of the data dumps that they got from that. Besides what you expect to hear, what do you think they need to say today?
What do I think they need to say?
Yeah, like something they definitely got to present today.
That's a great question. They definitely need. I really think a roadmap is a good idea in terms of what we should expect from. I mean, it's hard because you gotta remember this is for developers, not really for us.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
You know what? I think what they need to do is kind of show how they're going to attack the new console generation coming out this year this is what this kind of like. I always said that they need to make the PS5 and the Xbox Series X obsolete by the time those. I think it's a good roadmap to absolutely get.
We lost Brian. We lose Brian? I think we lost Brian. Hey, Brian. Yeah. Okay. All right. You were botting there for a little bit. I was going to say here, let me do this. I'm going to drag you up and then I'm going to bring you back down. All right. That's your work. All right. Go ahead, say something now. He might just be adjusting this thing. Yeah, to add to what Brian was saying, I definitely concur. He actually stole my answer away from me. That's why I have him here. I think that they need to talk about how I'm going to take his words right from him. They need to make the new Xbox Series X the new king of the mountain, as far as power at least. How they make that obsolete now. It's a tricky tightrope to walk, because we said that as far as gamers are concerned, right, Brian, that Google's focus shouldn't be on T-flops. It should be on the convenience and some other things, the no loads and all that other stuff. But like you said, this is a developers conference. So the developers want to know what raw power they got under the hood. So if I'm Google, I would make this my last stance to mention the power, and then there on out just start talking performance when I'm speaking directly to the consumer. Those are just my thoughts.
Right.
But, so.
Yeah. And I don't want everyone's expectations to be too high when it comes to the consumer side of things, because that's not what this is all about.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's again, this is the Game Developers Conference, Google for Games Developer Summit keynote. And just expect to hear some things, possibly doing this, but not. It may or may not be a big extravaganza, but it'll be entertaining more the less. So, very interesting to see. So, we talked also in the beginning about how they are working this thing, which is very weird. So let's let the people know how we're going to do this. So if you could just run with everybody real quick, Brian, what we're going to do here on this channel and then what we're going to do on your channel.
All right. So what we're going to do on this channel here at the Stadia Dosage is we're going to go through the keynote live together and kind of, bicker and babble about it as it goes on.
Yeah.
And then once that ends, we're going to head over to my channel, Club Stadia, and we're going to start. We'll have a little. Actually, it'll be right away.
Yep.
We'll have the 5 keynote addresses they'll have for the Stadia side of things, and we'll go over those individually, or at least the ones that we can or are more interested in. And then MM2K here will join us. Was it a half hour after that?
Yeah.
Okay.
The wife is.
So we'll be heading over there after this.
Absolutely. And the link to Brian's presentation is at the bottom. It's in bold because again, I know why you're here. You're not here for me. So don't fret. As soon as I depart, then you guys really get to have fun. You get to go over directly to Brian's channel, and I'll be joining shortly. So you guys get a break from all my babble. While we're still waiting, we still got 3 minutes, right? So real quick, I wanted to throw this up here and get your thoughts on this because I tagged you in it earlier. Something from the homie Stadia Rocks, man. That is the most adequate name for this guy ever. I'm going to put this on the board real quick because he definitely does rock. So he put up here this thing, Brian, where he says, buried deep in all sorts of corners of the web or snippets of information that not only tell you where Stadia comes from, but where it's going. I found this, for example, which is, in essence, Google's market plan. Did you get a chance to look at that tweet? Probably not.
Oh, yeah, quickly this morning.
Oh, you did? Okay. And so they talk about reason to adopt, roughly 10 times the current market, considerably less friction to mobile. That's a very interesting term because I heard the word frictionless gaming in the Xcloud presentation last week. And then they reduced the friction, no download. So this sounds like a pitch to developers. From what you were able to see quickly before this starts, what are your thoughts on all this, if you have any?
As a developer / publisher, my main goal is to sell more copies of what I'm doing.
Yep.
And that immediately is like, if I can pump up my market that much and that quickly, then why wouldn't I want to do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
But the only problem is the market potential is there, but they want the actual market to be there. So that might be a delay for some developers until that starts to grow. But I mean, obviously the potential is there for sure.
Yeah. I found it interesting, to say the least, and I don't want to have this cover the screen because it looks like they're going to go live in like 2 minutes. I found it interesting, to say the least, that they said unlock a large population of non-gamers. So I guess they figure that there's going to be spillage from your regular YouTube crowd that might want to, play Stadia, and I find that interesting, and I'm curious to see what their proposal is, and I'm curious to see if we'll see any of this reasoning why they think this will be possible. So, yeah. So we got.
I mean, that's a good little business strategy there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I love the terminology. Runs on potato machines. Oh man, but yeah. I mean, all of this is true. None of it is false. I mean, I'm curious. Most of it is true, I'll say, rather. None of it is false, except for unlock large population of non-gamers. We have people from Matt Piscatella of NPD that says it's not going to be so easy to tap into this non-gamer crowd because this thing is mobile. And we'll see. We'll see. Because with the Switch, Brian, my thoughts real quick. With the Switch, Brian, we were able to see them have such success. What do you think about that? And them
one more time.
Well, the Switch were. We saw the Switch adopt a lot of non-gamers. You know what I'm saying, because of its portability. So, what do you think? Stadia's chances of doing the same?
I mean, that's one reason I was so attached to it is like it's I've already said this before, is that it's a Switch-like experience but supercharged because I can play Destiny on it. I can play Borderlands. I can play Doom. I mean, I can do that on the Switch eventually, but I can't do it right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can play The Division on there, so it's going to be awesome.
I was just looking to see if full screen mode activated yet. Nope. So any moment now, they will be going live. And then we'll give our 2 cents during the conference. I will be taking notes. So I'll try. What I'll do is I'll lower our volume unless we got a special guest in the house. He's muted right now, but we got the hardest working man in showbiz, Mr. Duncan, aka One to Escape. So
community manager, what's up?
Definitely not the hardest working person. There's a hell of a lot more harder working people like you.
Stop it.
Yeah, this thing is loud. But yeah, they're going live in approximately 2 minutes. So before they go live, Duncan, any last thoughts? We got Chase in here too. Oh wow,
it's a party.
It's a party. Oh, they really
What's
aren't
going
here
on,
for
gentlemen?
me. Hey, what's up, Chase? How's it going, good buddy?
Oh, he's literally in here. Oh, what's going on?
He's in here. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured I'd stop in for a minute before my lunch and get kind of hyped about this keynote because it's going to be good.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Very interesting. All right. So what I'm going to do is once this thing goes live, I'm going to turn our volume down a little bit. Does that sound good, guys? I'll turn our volume down a little bit. Let them talk. As we talk, I'll raise our volume. You know what I mean?
Not playing TikTok.
Yeah, I'm going to lower my volume as well.
Okay.
That is loud. Holy crap.
And people in the panel, I mean, well, anybody, if the audio levels aren't good, let me know, and I'll definitely make adjustments. But I'm turning our audio down right now for now. Definitely.
Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in to the Google for Games Developer Summit. I'm John and I oversee product at Stadia. We've got a lot of exciting news to share from across Google's products, and we were eager to share them at GDC. Now it was a hard call, but we support the GDC organizers for making the right one by postponing the conference to protect this global community. Times like these come with big sacrifices for your teams, especially the many of you who are independent developers. That's why we're partnering with Wings and contributing to the GDC Relief Fund to lessen the financial impact on those of you who needed the resources from GDC to continue building your great games. Even though we can't meet in person today, we're still excited to meet digitally and share several new announcements here at our Google for Games Developer Summit. But let's start by taking a step back. I want to talk about how you, as game developers, have introduced huge shifts over the last decade in gaming tech, marketing, and user experience. Take, for instance, how mobile gaming has transformed the way people access entertainment and connect with others. More players around the world are able to enjoy games anywhere with anyone than ever before. What was once a small fraction of the industry is now on track to become a $100 billion segment in 2021, with more developers succeeding than ever before. Here at Google, we've been a leader in supporting the mobile ecosystem we know today through platforms like Android and Google Play, creating one of the largest gaming communities in the world with billions of players. These players are part of an increasingly global and diverse gaming audience, thanks to the continuing expansion of internet access. This year, players in Southeast Asia, India, the Middle East, and North Africa will drive the majority of growth in mobile. This global audience means more players to experience your game. But every group of players has specialized preferences that you'll need to consider to reach them. At Google, our ads products have helped you make your games more discoverable and tailor your experiences to unique player preferences. When someone finds and downloads the awesome game your team spent countless hours creating, this means more delight for your players and more opportunities for you to continue investing in your business. And the numbers show that this is working. To date, game developers of all sizes have generated over 27 billion installs with the help of Google Ads app campaigns. And for players, that means accessing games they enjoy has never been easier. Finding the right players for your game, it's only the first step to building a loyal fan base. The definition of community has shifted beyond just what's happening inside your game. Today, your communities are also watching and creating content. Both have become just as important as playing. And engaging a global audience to grow your community at scale, it's easier on a platform that reaches 2 billion users every day. With more than 200 million people tuning into gaming content every day, racking up more than 50 billion hours of gaming watch time per year, YouTube is a platform for your players to discover your games and connect with fellow fans through content on demand, live streaming, and esports. These communities are also shifting towards openness and cross-platform. Today, players have higher expectations than ever when it comes to connecting through global games. They constantly expect more immersive gameplay experiences that connect them with like-minded fans from around the world. The cloud can help you create and deliver these experiences for your communities through multiplayer gameplay, better matchmaking, live chat, and more. But scaling and managing infrastructure, it can be complex. With Google Cloud, our managed services and strong support for open source reduce that complexity, giving you the freedom of choice while also allowing you to focus on core elements of producing amazing game experiences. This means smaller developers are increasingly empowered. Once your game is a hit, it can easily scale to millions of players. The industry continues to grow and more players want access to high-quality, immersive games on demand. These days, it can be harder to justify investing in creating these types of incredible games because getting discovered in the first place is challenging enough as it is. Your visions need a home on a platform with a broad player base that will not only allow players to find your game, but to truly experience something awesome. This is what makes today's demand a prime opportunity for you to attract a broader audience. And these new and ambitious productions, they'll require an upfront investment, a wide-ranging platform, and then close partnerships. When we launched Stadia last year, our goal was to give players a platform to play great games with anyone, anywhere, anytime. By partnering with you, we strive to empower you to produce the next generation of games. The shifts we just talked about are presenting exciting opportunities, but they can be a lot to consider in addition to all the other things you're already thinking about for your game. Making the most of these opportunities, it'll require constantly updating real-time strategy, a lot of effort, and a partner that's building for the future. You'll find that partner in Google. We pride ourselves on empowering you and the rest of the developer community with our innovations and our scale. We've been partnering with you since the early days, and together, we're excited to keep creating what's next. In this next hour, you'll hear announcements addressing how we here at Google are tackling some of your biggest challenges, and we're setting you up for success in the years to come. To get started with Android and Google Play, I'll now hand it off to Greg to share the latest.
Thanks, John. Hi, I'm Greg Hartrell, the head of product management for games on Android and Google Play. I'm excited to take you through this next portion of our keynote. We'll go through an ecosystem update for Android and Google Play and share some exciting announcements that will help you reach more devices and grow your player base. Let's start with some highlights on the ecosystem in the last year. Android continues to be a vibrant ecosystem with Google Play at its heart.
Any thoughts on what John Justice had to say at the beginning?
With 2.5 billion monthly active devices.
He's alive.
He's alive.
He speaks.
Yeah.
I think the biggest takeaway from it was the openness and cross-platform piece.
Okay.
And at the very end, you heard him say, we're here to be a partner for, quote, years to come.
Gotcha. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm with you on Chase with that. Everything they've said to this point makes the idea that they're going to be here for years to come is, I mean, that's not a new one. So But it's good to see that reinforcement, and he's one of the faces of Stadia itself. So it's good to hear him come out of the woodwork, if you will, and say all these kinds of things, especially with Google's very. It seems they're pretty passionate about making cross-platform a regular thing, and it is important because look at the Division 2; it's thriving right now, and it's still the most played game on my friends list because of how many people can play with other people. It's awesome what you can do with cross-platform.
Exactly. Yep. I think their partnership with PC is going to be vital, at least in the early years. You know what I mean? It's a smart moves.
So huge, dude.
Yep.
What I picked up there was esports and talking on YouTube.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
Yeah.
Our Indie Game Accelerator program is an example of where we're helping in this area. This program helps.
Imagine I'm probably going to hear too much of interest in the Android side of things.
Find success on Google Play. Last year, we had over 1,700 applications from developers across 37 countries, from Asia to Latin America.
Real quick, guys, as far as esports, because I kind of missed that. What did they say in regards to esports? That they're going to cover it, or it's going to be some part of Stadia? Did they connect it with Stadia at all?
Forward to applications for 2020.
It was more just a general thing about how good esports is. But it was just interesting. They were talking about it.
Our aim was to inspire teen game creators.
So more or less opening the door.
Idea for a chance to win a $15,000
possibly.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're setting the table is basically the best way to say it.
To their school,
it's like the plate was there.
Partnering with
but where's the steak? Where's the fork and the knife?
Develop and launch.
I mean, it makes sense with the whole Activision Blizzard deal from
Absolutely.
For example, take the game Bright Love, where the main storyline was to encourage.
I would just say to everybody for today and the next couple of days,
being a mere
watch the Stadia Twitter account very closely.
Forward to expanding this program as well,
because I do think we're going to get some news.
That all said,
that surrounds
it's important
this.
to us that our platforms are highly useful to every kind of game developer.
I mean, the hype is up there right now with the GDC side
is to deliver the
for this, so that makes sense. And we've already kind of brushed on it that it doesn't make sense to like announce a game or anything like Stadia specific when it comes to maybe features launching, but just like what we could be expecting in the future with maybe features, but just have your expectations for this kind of thing.
Yep.
Then there's accessing a wider player base.
You know what I just thought? There might be something interesting here in regards to your good friend Brian, Tim Shifty, Tim Swindle, because they're trying to reach out. They're talking about extending the player base.
Let's start with how we're making it easier to build
growing access to people on Google Play, which
we spend a lot of time thinking about how to make it easier.
According to Tim, Google was the burner of villages and the kidnapper of babies.
So offer better tools for building and profiling.
Yeah, I was going to bring up that this is very interesting to still pay attention to, because this could play into the Epic situation.
Our Android Studio
absolutely
tool is now overhauled to be more intuitive, so you can better understand the granular timing of how your code is being executed across the operating system. We also added native memory profiling capabilities, so you can better understand how your game is allocating memory and find memory leaks in your games. We've also heard your feedback that optimizing graphics on Android is difficult. The GPU on Android is often a black box, and it's hard to navigate different GPU vendor tools to gain the insights you need.
Stadia.
To solve this, today, we're announcing a developer preview of the new Android GPU Inspector. This single profiling tool works across both Qualcomm and ARM GPUs and provides insights into how your game is using
like what they expected the duration to be,
and help identify
1 hour, 10 seconds.
Using specialized drivers,
specific.
You can profile graphics performance bottlenecks through details.
Yeah, you can tell with how long each of them are. If you go into the embedded, it flashes up quickly
to help
how long it is.
For better frame rates,
so this one's 1 hour, 10 seconds.
So your players can experience smoother gameplay.
Some of them are 15 minutes. Something, but this one is 1 hour, 10 seconds.
We also know there are several IDEs to choose from when making a game for Android.
Duncan doing the investigative journalism.
Remains one of the most popular IDEs. And for those of you building your games in C++, we heard that your workflows had some pretty complicated setups. So today, we're announcing the Android Game Development Extension for use in Visual Studio. With this extension, it's now easy to add Android support for your cross-platform games, integrating easily with existing Visual Studio-based workflows. So now, you can generate APKs, deploy to Android devices or an emulator, and debug your Android game from within Visual Studio. You can sign up for that preview at the link that you see here. Let's switch to another theme. Helping you reach more Android
game
devices with higher
developers for
quality
Stadia R&D
experiences has come
is
up in a lot of
26
your
minutes.
feedback. Today, we're introducing a new set of delivery features for games called Play Asset Delivery. It builds on our app bundle infrastructure to give you free dynamic delivery of the right game assets to the right devices at the right time. Play Asset Delivery allows you to chunk up your game resources into asset packs, delivered through a few smart, flexible modes, either as part of the initial install, shortly after install, or on demand during gameplay. It
Discoverability
even supports texture compression
14
format
minutes.
targeting to get the most optimal assets
Oh,
onto the right
so
devices,
these things aren't that long.
and manages updates and patching of all your asset packs.
Nice
All
and
of this
consumable.
means your players can get into your game sooner while the assets are being downloaded. And you can also lower the cost of hosting and delivering.
Yeah, I was
your
just looking
game
through them now.
resources.
Those all drop at exactly 1 o'clock.
Play Asset
Yeah,
Delivery is
that's
available
what
today
sucks.
to all
I
Play
mean,
developers
I guess it's no big
with
deal.
support for native code and popular game
It really
modes.
one
sucks.
You can learn more about it at the
one
link you
which
see here.
is
I think the one that everyone
recorded
probably
session
should.
that will be unlocked in
Oh,
our playlist. at
is
the end of
creating
this
for
keynote.
content creators,
Android
Jesus,
Vitals is
Duncan, I was
another
gonna say
key
that.
tool as a destination to understand the technical
and that's
quality
50
of your
minutes.
game. To help
I
you
think
get
that's the one
high
that you need to
stability
go
performance
first.
on more devices, we're introducing two new capabilities. The first is supporting native crash symbolication. So now you can debug game stability issues more easily and
Duncan are
crash
taking
and
the exact
ANR
same
reporting in Android Vitals.
Hey, good friends steal from
The
each other.
second is our developer preview
That's right.
of Android
He
Performance
stole
Tuner,
all right.
a new SDK and service that helps you understand and improve frame rate performance across
The
all
keys to
Android
a good
devices
pitch
worldwide.
is
We
15
know that it
minutes.
can be complex to properly tune your game to run at the most optimal fidelity on a range of Android devices. Integrating Android Performance Tuner in your game unlocks new metrics in
I
Android
think the two that are going to be the
Vitals
most
show your
interesting
game's frame rate performance
are going to
and
be
issues
the
across different Android
creating
device
for
models.
content creators.
Performance Tuner
Discoverability.
also helps
Those are probably
determine
the
your
two that are
game's
gonna be the
best
most vital
quality
to
level
watch.
for each device, so frame rates
And,
can run smoother.
and the last
For
one, the
example, you
Destiny
can
one.
find aspects of your game that create
Isn't that-
suboptimal performance on certain
I've just
devices
lost it
and
here.
choose to avoid rendering certain objects like
Is,
in-game vegetation, or
35
turn
minutes.
off graphic effects like reflection to smooth out your frame rates.
That's not
A
too
better
surprising
tuned
because
game
they
will
sent a
minimize
team
the
over there,
number of
didn't they?
users experiencing poor performance
And you know
did.
what,
and avoid
gentlemen?
negative reviews.
The
Android
content
Performance
creators
Tuner
one
is an invite-only beta
might
starting
showcase
today,
crowd play.
and you can fill out the application at the link that
That
you
would
see
make
here.
sense.
You can also
And,
learn more about it
or the other
watching our
features as
recorded
well.
talk called Deliver
Crowd
High-Quality
choice.
Games on More
Yeah, crowd
Devices,
choice, yeah.
which will be available in our playlist
And
below
any
after the
other
keynote.
surprises
We all
here?
know that game engines are an important part of the ecosystem, so we're excited that game engine options for Android developers continue to grow. This year, Crytek is empowering developers even more by adding a full Android pipeline to CryEngine, available this summer. Known for being a high-performance game engine for PCs and
Well,
game
that's a big deal.
consoles, CryEngine stands to help you push
CryEngine
the
on Android.
boundaries of graphics and display hardware on all platforms, including Android. You can learn more about Crytek's plans by going to cryengine.com/Android and signing up for the beta. In the meantime, please join us in welcoming CryEngine to the Android ecosystem. Another important game engine is Unity. Over the years, Google teams have created a lot of Unity plugins, and we saw that it was becoming
Yes,
unmanageable
Ralph,
for many of you to pull together all of the services Google
Amazon
has to offer
nicked
into one
the
place.
CryEngine, and
So
then
today, we're
we
announcing
get
the
into
Game
lumberyard.
Package Registry for
That-
Unity
that
by
might
Google. Supporting
be worth
Unity
investigating.
2018.4 and above, our goal is to give you a single package registry for all of Google's APIs. With this announcement, you'll get Google Play Billing, Android app bundles, Play Asset Delivery, Play Instant, and Firebase for games all in one place, with more API support on the way. You can download the package registry today using the link that you see here. Once you've made a great game, then you need to tell everybody about it and help make it a commercial success. For Google Play, we think a lot about how to make game discovery easier and give you more tools so your go-to-market plans can grow your player base. Our work
That's another
here is
interesting
paying
development
off
with Unity.
as Google Play has continued to grow. Last year, we saw 116 billion downloads of apps and games that you created, distributed to devices in every country on the planet. This has been incredible growth, and we're excited to keep innovating to make this even better. Last year, we lamented a storefront that leads with icons. When you look at the user experience of discovering games in play, what's going on inside of the actual game can be hidden through layers of text and static images. An icon alone can't express the incredible experience your game offers, and the information we provide to users could be far more compelling. So we thought deeply about the ideal experience,
And Wolverine was
and we were
whooping on
inspired by
Cyclops.
real-life video game arcades. As you walk through a real-life arcade, you can easily see all the gameplay, cabinet decal
snap.
marketing, and crowds of people playing what's popular. All of these elements combine to evoke the soul of a game in each of us before you decide to play it. And we wanted to use these concepts to make the Play Store an amazing game discovery experience. So we've completed an extensive visual refresh from top to bottom to help the Play Store game section be more exciting and gameplay-centric. Our game section is now the sole destination to find games
that's
with
tight.
top charts, categories, and collections of games that are more tailored for you based on the games you and our community play. Moreover, you will see screenshots and auto-playing videos of gameplay
Bravo,
when
Google.
pausing over rich clusters of games, so you can better see what a game is about before you tap an install button. And it's not just about a good user experience. All of these changes have drastically increased the traffic and engagement in the game section, helping users find games they love and leading to more gameplay. In fact, elevating auto-playing videos and screenshots has shown a 20 to 75% increase in conversion, depending on how well that content shows the true experience of your game. Having the right content can really make a difference for how your game gets discovered. And we didn't stop there. Google's mission is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. This mission also applies to games on Google Play. It starts with building a deeper understanding of what a game is about, how to describe what types of games a player might be into, and then better recommending or showing the right ones to try.
So,
We call this
Chase,
the
what he just
genomic
mentioned about,
discovery
I
of
guess,
games.
certain
And we
game
think it will make a
statistics
big
being
difference
in
in how players will discover games.
more familiar
Let's
spot.
take
Can you
puzzle
explain
games
that
as
real
an
quick?
example.
I
While
kind of
lots
missed
of
that
people play
too.
puzzle games, grouping them all into one category doesn't do justice to all the
must
types of
step away.
puzzles a user could be into. In the game industry, we know that these games have radically different mechanics and dynamics.
Yeah, he went mute.
Match 3 puzzle games are very different from brain teasers or physics-based puzzles or an escape room simulator.
Did you
But
catch
an
any of that,
elderly
Brian?
parent or school-age child might not know
Which
these
part?
labels.
About
And they will struggle
they
to find more games
I heard something about
how to
putting
describe the
stuff
gameplay
in
they enjoy.
data,
The data
about
from genomic
games that are
discovery
more
applied
recommended
to a
for you or
broad
something
spectrum
somewhere.
of the game catalog. We're rolling out new ways
It's like
to browse,
25
search,
to
filter, and
50%
recommend
or something like
games
that?
based
Oh,
on
okay.
these granular attributes.
I
You'll
heard
see more
Chase.
information
I heard
about
Chase getting excited
subgenres,
over it. I thought it
game
was something.
aesthetics, the multiplayer mode, and even what kind of connectivity a game requires.
I wonder
So,
if
for example,
discoverability
the player
like,
will
in
eventually
the Play
be
Store
able to
can be
filter down all
bought.
offline
I got
physics-based
you.
puzzle
Okay.
games
Now
now
so
that they
take
know that
credit.
their favorite puzzle games are known as physics-based. We're
I
continuously
need to sit in
improving
here
this too.
saying,
We
can
crowdsource
you hurry
these
up and
labels
finish with
through
this?
those
We're
that
going on to the
use the
Stadia
Play
stuff?
console and further
Because we're
researched
only
and
gonna-
curated them
we're up
by
to
our
20
team
minutes now.
through the Play
Yeah.
Store.
We're going to have a
As we
recap at
deepen
the
our
end,
understanding
so
of games, we will offer even
that's what
more
I'm just
ways
thinking
you can
about here.
provide us with the metadata you need to describe your game. All of this culminates in making Google Play a great discovery experience with our increased focus on quality.
They must have heard you, Duncan.
In fact,
So it looks
we've
like he's
updated
wrapping
our
it up.
featuring and ranking logic to further prioritize high-quality games with strong technical performance and engaging content. We ask everyone to look at ways to improve your game's quality. Here are 3 key areas to focus
Director
on.
said, "Watch these features come to
First,
Stadia
have
Store
a
soon."
great in-game user experience that your players
I
find
mean, this could be
engaging
like
and
a
satisfying.
test market
Second,
for it.
Yeah,
ensure your
yep,
game's stability
absolutely.
and technical performance are strong, such as being free of crashes. And lastly, have an effective store listing page, including the gameplay-centric videos and screenshots like we showed earlier.
Sounds like
You can
everything
read the
Epic Store
details
doesn't
of how to
have,
take action on quality by following the link that you
especially the
Stop it.
crashes.
and
I
we
know.
look
I know.
forward
Let me
to you
stop.
improving discovery for your game in the Play Store. Let's also talk about the new services available to game developers.
Oh,
One long-term bet for us is Play Pass, which we launched in the USA last year. At $4.99 a month, users get access to hundreds of awesome apps and games, completely free of ads
Yay,
and in-app
more.
purchases.
Yeah.
We want Android to be a place where creative indie breakouts and shorter story-based games can
I
be
see
successful
Sonic.
as premium experiences alongside free-to-play titles and innovative apps. We'll do that by compensating developers fairly for the value they provide Play Pass subscribers, whether it's a game that can be finished in a few hours or one you can play for weeks on end. We're using many signals to reward developers and continue to tune the model, curating the best possible catalog for users. We want to thank hundreds of developers who joined in the initial offering as well. Personally, it's been a great way for me to discover great titles and hidden gems, alongside some of the amazing indies
Just
we've
think
seen
about
in
it
our
like
indie
this.
game contests. It's still
That
early
Play
days,
Pass,
and we thank you for your patience as we scale the program.
they already do that sort
Google
of thing.
Play
so
Instant has helped
it must
drive
be in the
millions of game
plans for
demos and
Stadia.
fast-loading game sessions in the Play Store. We saw another opportunity to open up a new discovery surface for indie and mid-tier game makers who have more
Thank
casual
you,
experiences.
Stadia
The
Arcadia
newly
for that.
updated Play Games app is now an instant gameplay destination that attracts millions of weekly Android users, including a new game announcement each week. For games that can package themselves as a Google Play Instant app and incorporate Play Game services, you can apply to publish to this surface and reach a big casual game audience. We think it's a new and fun gameplay surface that can open up the top of your funnel. We're now accepting applications to participate and be considered for featuring at the link that you see here. At GDC last year, we announced that pre-registration was available for all developers on Google Play, and hundreds of millions of users registered for your upcoming launches last year. Combined with the early access testing tracks, we think a lot about how to make your launches and updates more successful. Your biggest fans just want to get into the game on launch day, and that's why we're rolling out Day 1 auto install for all pre-registered games. Players will have the option to auto install the game the day that it becomes available and not just receive a notification. This will just work for games that have the billing permission enabled, and it's the best experience for your users who are eagerly awaiting the day your game becomes available. Let's touch on Play Billing Library 2.0, which we launched last year at Google I/O. Updating to this library gives your game some great new monetization capabilities. For
That's pretty
example,
cool.
your players can pay for in-app purchases with cash at participating retail locations like convenience stores. Also, players can discover and purchase in-app purchases outside of your game, such as in the Play Store itself. And you can express in-app purchase discounts and sales information in the Play checkout experience, so it matches your in-game storefronts.
They all get hit with
Today,
that 30%.
We're launching a new version of Play Billing Library 2.0 for Unity developers. It replaces older versions of the Play IAP store inside of Unity, making
We're
it
coming
easy
up to
to
the
upgrade.
half-hour mark.
We recommend all developers upgrade to Billing
Jeez,
Library
this is-
2.0, both to take advantage of its new features and to prepare for the new Play.
I mean, it's still
billing
interesting to
version
see because
requirements
you could
in
see a lot of this,
2021.
like Trizarector said, you can see
You
a
can
lot of
learn
this
more
coming to
about this
Stadia.
in the link that you see here. One last announcement. Another big bet we're making is on PlayPoints, a user rewards program that first launched in Japan in 2018 and in Korea and the USA last year. Users can earn points from all of their spending
One last
across Google
announcement.
Play. They can also earn points for free from trying new apps and redeeming weekly rewards.
This works with Stadia, by the way.
To
Yeah,
date,
yeah, I was
over
gonna say that, yeah.
6.6 billion points have been redeemed for special items, discounts, Google Play credits, and donations to
I almost bought
support
Doom the other day on my
underdogs.
iPhone. It's like, wait.
Our goal is
Yeah.
to both thank users for
Play
their
points.
engagement with Play and offer re-engagement opportunities for your players who spend in your game through unique promotions. Today, we're announcing the expansion of PlayPoints in Taiwan and Hong Kong, and we're excited to expand it even further this year. Today, we announce a lot of new tools and services to help your games reach more devices and grow your player base on new surfaces and with new go-to-market tools. A wise man once said, "It's dangerous to go alone." Take
Time for
this
some
handy
Stadia
link
night?
as
Yeah,
the best
please.
resource to catch up
Please,
on
Stadia,
everything we
please.
covered today, including where to sign up for all the new betas and developer previews. As a
Aha.
reminder, at
Professor
the end of
Oak.
the keynote, we'll be unlocking our playlist below with additional recorded talks that will go even deeper on many of these topics. 2019 was an amazing year for mobile games, and I'll just end with thank you for all of the amazing and innovative games you bring to Android and Google Play. For this year, we wish you the very best in your creative and gaming pursuits.
All right.
Now, I'll hand it off to Abida to share the latest announcements from Google Ads.
Thanks, Greg. Hi, everyone. I'm Abhita. I lead development for our app platform and gaming initiatives. Greg just spoke about how Android and Google Play tools
Bet you didn't see that coming.
make it easy
Yeah,
to
I
reach
sure
and
didn't.
engage with ads. Next, I'm excited to share how the newest features from our ads team will complement this
is
organic
good
growth
news.
and help you create a strong games business. One of the things we consistently see is that those who build a strong games business always put players first. In fact, the top game developers see much higher retention than industry average, suggesting
holding off
they
some
are
of the
creating games
Stadia
people
stuff?
love to keep playing.
I
The
thought
best
I
game
saw in the
developers
notes that
not
there
only
definitely was going to
understand
be
the
like some
value of their
Stadia.
players, but also their behavior.
I did see something about
and they
ads,
then
but
use these insights
I-
to build them amazing experiences.
with the length of the Google Play presentation,
Today, I'm going to show you
I
how
hope-
the latest innovations
I hope
from
to
our
God
ads and measurement teams
this,
can help you develop a
they
player
cover
this
this
is-
in
this is
5
a-
minutes.
We think
this is
about
a bit
building
of a
features
worry
for
here.
game developers in 3 ways.
Where does Google
First,
make most of their
creating
money?
an engaged
Yeah,
player
exactly. Yeah.
base. Second, improving your game
My bad, John,
by
I had to step
learning
away
from
to
your
make some-
players.
Oh no, that's okay. No,
And
no,
third,
okay. Gotcha.
earning more from your game. Let's
What
dive
I
in
wanted to
to
tap
see
your
how
brain on,
creating an
Chase,
engaged
while they're
player
talking this
base
Google
not
ad
only
stuff,
drives positive
is
user
you
experiences,
seemed
it can
excited
also
about a
help
particular
grow your
part
business
of
revenue.
the Play Store
Invested
where I think they were
players
talking
are
about
likely to spend
where they
more
were
time
putting
in your
information
games
and how
and
they
hence
were
generate more revenue for your
doing
business
better at,
long
I
term.
guess, figuring out what games
The first
would be
step
good
to
for you.
creating an engaged player
Could you
base
elaborate
is
on that a
finding
little bit
those
if you
players
remember?
who will love your game.
Yeah, I
That
just thought
means
that the
reaching the players who are interested in
announcement
your
of,
game in the moments they're looking
CryEngine
for
and
something
Unity is a
new.
big deal, especially for Android development.
Google App Campaigns
Yeah.
is our
So,
ads product
and
that
the
does
Unity
exactly
package,
this.
depending on how big that
You
download
just
size
define the
is for
goals
that,
matter to you.
Yeah.
that really
Based
opens
on
up the
whatever
door for a
audience it is
lot
you're
of
trying to
games that,
reach.
with
Whether
other
that's people
engines,
likely to install your game, or those
somebody
likely
said this in the
to your
actual
game.
GDC, because I'm actually watching the
Google's
actual
machine
Google
learning
developers.
goes to work
Okay.
and finds more of these
Let me
pieces
find the
across
comment, because
search,
somebody said it really
YouTube,
well.
Play, Discover,
Hold on.
and over 3 million sites and apps in our network.
One
We know
second.
that app campaigns are driving more value than ever.
Very
for
interesting.
s-
We have
Oh,
seen
oh,
over
oh,
27
yeah, hold on one
million
second, Duncan.
ads
So
to
somebody
date.
was talking about trying to
And
use
this is why
Unreal
we're continuing to invest
is
in
almost
this area and
impossible
innovate so
on
you can do
Android
even
because
Okay.
of how much
Our two latest app
I guess the
campaign
download
solutions
size of the
are
actual
designed to help
engine
ensure
is.
Yeah,
So
you
like
capture
yeah.
Unity,
multiple
it
players
seems
at
like they're
launch
downscaling it
and
to make it
deliver
to where
more
it's
relevant
more of
ads
a,
to the right people.
I guess, some type of
Based on Google
compression.
internal data,
They didn't really
we know
allude
that
to
more
it
than
the
half
best
of
in that,
installs
but
come within the
it's a little
first
bit outside
8
my
weeks of
expertise.
an
But
app's release.
I just think an announcement
To
of
make
that
the most
sort
of this window,
opens
leading
up
developers need to
possibilities
test
for
their
new
apps
games
in
being
beta
developed on
before
Android.
releasing them publicly.
I don't know that it's as big as Stadia.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
A year ago,
as far-
we
as far as for
engaged
Stadia.
in testing
Yep.
in the Google
But,
Play console.
And then also, yeah, you were asking
You
about
can
the
try new games
discoverability of the
before they
games.
Mm-hmm.
If
They're
you're a
making it more
developer,
linear
open
where
testing enables
you're
you
not
to release
going,
a
like if
test
you ever go
version
into
of your
the
app to get early
App
feedback
Store,
from users on
it
metrics
is
like
50
battery
different
life,
tabs
apps
that you have to
development,
go through to get
app
into the
startup
game
time,
section,
and
and it's
monitoring.
it's
You
not
need to have enough
fluid.
users
Okay,
for those
And
types of insights
so
to
what they're
move
doing now
forward.
is they're just making it
Very soon,
streamlined where you
you
go
will
to the
be
games
able to use
page and you
Android
basically get a
apps
preview of the
promote
game, which is
Android
really
apps in
nice.
open
Oh,
testing
okay,
to
okay.
help you find even more
So
testers.
that's what they were showing is in that
This is how it
example is
works.
like, let's say
To
it's
start, you just set up your open test in
I'm just
the
using the
Google
game as an
Play
example,
console,
but Gran
and then
Turismo,
select
right?
your
Yeah.
app when setting up a new
You'd
app
see an
campaign,
actual
for
breakdown of
instance.
the game,
By
everything that's
driving
associated
players
with the
from
game,
game
and
to
then you
the
also
game
have like
data,
an
you can
overlay
see what's working
of
and
a
what's
video
not.
of the gameplay.
And then you can use those
Oh,
insights
okay,
to help you
okay.
make
I know that's
new
something that
releases
Xbox
for
does
the all-important
currently on their UI.
Here's an example.
Yeah, yeah.
Letty
So that's
is one
cool.
of
No,
our
I like
partners
that.
Who took advantage of open
They're just getting
testing
themselves
ads
into
and app
the
campaigns.
proper day and age.
Yeah, exactly.
Allowed
Yep.
them to reach a large and representative audience to test their
And my
app.
fault, Duncan.
Early
Oh, no,
feedback
it
was
wasn't
more
anything
than their
interesting.
expectations.
Uh,
It showed
Stadia
more
have decided to
purchase
tweet
behavior and LTV than what they were
during this,
expecting.
and they're just
The
saying,
team was then able to use
Grids
these
available in
insights to
Pro.
change the game mechanics. The end result was a 2x increase in purchases after launch. Besides testing, early creative insights are also very important.
Michael
to
said if we
launch.
lower the GDC, is it it low enough now, or
or a game you've already launched,
I thought I had it low.
you need your ad creative to
That's why I'm sitting there tinkering behind the scenes.
experimenting with creative assets will soon be easier.
Just to go over some of the things that people are saying in the chat. Hopefully that's low enough. They're focusing on Unity now, cause of beef with Sweeney, and therefore Unreal Engine, showing support to the competition. I kind of like briefly caught some, I don't want to say digs, but some subliminal rebuts to the manifesto of Bibble Babble that Sweeney put out there. Did you guys notice that at all? Like, you know, making the platform a lot more easier and a lot more developer friendly. Did you guys catch that, or you don't see any connection at all to what Sweeney had said a few weeks ago?
I think there's plenty of connections you can make. I think that potentially is a shot back at that comment, because again, regardless of what the media has been saying, the proof is in the pudding that they've had indie developers come onto the platform.
Okay.
And the more and more Google continues to set that mindset for folks, as far as developers, of saying we're going to be here for, again, what you heard John Justice say.
Yeah.
Years to come.
Oh yeah, I jotted that down, good brother. I'm glad you caught that. I'm glad you caught that. Yeah. And to piggyback off of that real quick, because I think that so far has been the most important line that's been said. I don't know if you all agree. I mean, you got him saying this, which puts a bow on it. Then you have the acquisition or the creation of the new studio and the acquisition of Shannon Studstill. Is that how do you pronounce her last name? From Santa Monica. I mean, anybody, and I see a couple of new people that are in here that normally don't watch the show. Yeah, I'm sorry, Marine Game. While they're talking about ads, how developer are going to do ads, we just figured we would reflect on the show a little bit. We'll put the volume back up in a second. But just to get the panel thoughts real quick before we go back to the show. I think for those of you that are new, if you're not aware, Shannon Studstill has been acquired from Santa Monica. She was the head of the studio, the same studio that made God of War, the God of War reboot. They created a new studio, put her in charge of it, and now you've had Mr. Justice come out there and say, again, they're here for years to come. So Google Stadia's not going anywhere anytime soon. Anybody else want to reflect on that?
I was going to hold off on saying anything.
Oh, okay, that's all right.
I mean,
go ahead.
I guess I'll just say something real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I just think it's further proof that Google is not going to just abandon this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And again, when developers continue to see that year after year, Google is still going to foster this thing, treat it like, a child that's growing,
exactly,
giving it the right vitamins, the right vegetables.
Yep.
You're going to see more and more developers say, okay, we were a little bit squeamish at first, but we'll start now trying to see what we can do with this thing.
Yep.
And that's really, I think, why John Justice said that comment, is because they want to continue to hammer that point home of, we know you out there might think, even though he didn't directly say this, but indirectly,
mm-hmm,
we know you think that we may not be around for a while,
yep,
but we're here and we ain't going anywhere.
Yep.
I mean, it's been just a heavy financial investment. It'd be a poor business move to say, nope, we're packing up.
Yeah.
I mean,
yep.
I don't think any of us have thought that at all. But I mean, obviously, the general public has a negative perception, and it's always good to have the big guys say that, hey, we're going to be here for years to come.
Exactly. Well, let's get educated on Google Analytics. All right, we're going to turn the volume back up.
Oh,
go ahead.
Xbox down to 130 quid or $130.
Are you serious? The Xbox One X?
No, just the Xbox All Digital is down to $130.
Oh, isn't that something? Oh well,
an odd price.
Yeah, exactly. I've never heard that one before. So you heard it first here. All they got to do is get rid of the load times, and then we'll be even better. Okay.
Yeah, everybody's reacting.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's competition, man.
Yep.
That's really what the price of that should have been to begin with, though, to be honest.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, overlook my facetious attitude, guys. This is great for gamers because this is like a set of dominoes, and one being knocked down sets a course for others, and it's only going to lead to better output and better outcomes for us. So, please ignore the old man shaking his fist at the window. I'm sorry.
Old man yells at clouds.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Shit, wrap this up by quarter till.
I know.
This report will give you insights into how the lifetime value of a particular user cohort changes as they progress
some
through
of
their
the
life
Stadia
cycle,
stuff,
allowing you to start to understand who your most valuable players are.
the coronavirus.
This report is our
So
first
base
step
isn't
on the
coming
way
out for
to
a while, so they might have something bigger further on down the line in a couple of months.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why I don't think it's a good time to release base.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
From Crazy Labs, one of the top global game developers, is looking forward to the launch of this report to save time and overhead across his company. This new cohort report
But
will
if you just want the
automatically be
positive
available
spin,
in your AdMob account this spring.
Stadia's last. They always leave their biggest announcements to the last.
They're saving the best 3 minutes for last.
Based on what you've learned. If you are monetizing your game with ads, AdMob can help you maximize the value of every impression by A/B testing your monetization setup. Speaking of monetization
whole
setups,
chat and,
mediation is a
Google
tried and
stream
tested
is
way
all
to
talking
help
about Stadia.
developers maximize
Yeah,
revenue
exactly.
from multiple
Oh, for real?
networks.
Okay.
But we know that it comes with a lot of challenges. You have to manage multiple SDKs, multiple reporting and
I just
payment
think from a consumer
systems.
standpoint,
Waterfalls
no
can
one cares
also
about
cause
this
slow
unless you're
loading times that
interested in
cause
Stadia.
disruption for your players.
Yeah. Yep.
And most importantly, because
And just
mediation
remember
uses
the last
historical
5 minutes
data,
of this will
you
be
could be
like a
missing
wrap
out
up of
on
Pepper.
potential revenue.
So we're not
That's why
looking very long
Google
for
is
Stadia
moving
at all.
beyond the traditional waterfall model to our in-app bidding solution, Open Bidding. Rather than using historical data to prioritize networks, Open Bidding calls all participating
Chase,
networks
in,
at the same time, enabling them to
Don't
compete
get. I don't know what you
equally in a
guys'
single
availability
real-time
are, but
auction.
definitely if you guys
For any given impression, the winner
as soon
is
as
always
this
the highest paying
concludes,
network
that's it for this
because
stream.
all networks
and
get
then
the
we're
same
gonna
priority,
have
including
everybody
Google.
go over to Brian's channel.
Open
So
Bidding
if you
has the
guys
potential
want
to
to stay,
maximize the value
Brian,
of
I
every
guess can send you
impression
the link to his
and bring in
stream.
more revenue than
You guys can
waterfall
join him there
mediation.
if you can.
But in order to be sure, you would want to compare the performance of each
I don't know if I'll be
monetization
able to
setup.
make it over to that one.
Today, developers who want to test a new approach
might be able
don't
to
have
start
many
over.
options, and we see them using all sorts of imperfect techniques. One common
I don't
approach
think I'll
that
be able
we
to make
see
it over there either.
is deploying a change to the players in one country
Brian.
to see
Especially
how
when they
that
keep
group
talking about
responds
the
before rolling the
analytics
change
and,
out
I'm just gonna
globally.
press play and walk away.
But player behavior is very
I
different
will
across
tell you,
different
part of
countries.
the reason why they're so
For
focused
example,
on Android
players in
right
Japan
now
are very different from
is
players in
because
Brazil.
the amount of money that's
This
being
and other such
made
approaches
off of Android
are
games
easier
as compared
than
to
setting up a
Stadia.
true test,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
not a scientifically rigorous
That's
way
why
to
you're
gain
not seeing
insights
larger Stadia.
because there are many
Exactly, yeah.
variables that can influence
Especially
your
in the
results.
keynote. Yeah.
To make testing easier
we
and
pre-warned
more
everybody,
reliable,
like,
we
don't
have built a
expect-
tool to run
Don't
A/B
expect
tests
99
right
minutes
from
of
your
this,
AdMob
right?
account.
to be
Using this
Right.
tool,
You
you'll
know,
be able to
Stadia,
easily test different ads monetization
Other
setups
talks are
without
going to be
updating
more
your ad,
interesting.
yeah.
and then analyze the test results easily with a dedicated report in our front end.
But being this is the keynote,
This is how
even
it
though
works.
it
Once
may
you
not
set
be a
up your
30,
test,
40-minute
AdMob will
talk
split your
on Stadia,
traffic,
there
run on
might
your
be some
control
key
group
phrases
and the
like we
variant
already
at the
got
same time.
the years to come phrase.
We
which
will
is
analyze and deliver
already,
the
you know,
results,
speaks
so you can
volumes,
decide
so.
whether you want to commit to the changes or keep
So
your
definitely
original
stay
setup
tuned. You don't
with
want
just
to
one
miss a
click.
second because you
Here's
never
an
know what
example.
you'll miss.
A Dutch game developing company called Gamehouse used mediation A/B testing when they were considering open bidding. They set up a test on one app to compare waterfall mediation to open bidding. After running the test for 2
This
weeks,
isn't good.
they found that open bidding delivered a 12% lift in total revenue. The team now plans to replicate this same test in 2 other apps to continue growing their revenue.
I am
A/B
shocked
testing
that this
different
is not in its
monetization
own
setups is a
presentation.
great way
She's
to
getting into
understand
way too
what
many
sort of a revenue
things that are
uplift
in
you
the
can
weeds,
expect
like
before
linear.
committing to a change.
I mean, not even linear. These are like
This is especially useful when
these are
considering new
drilled down
monetization
conversation
models
points
like
and
open
topics that
bidding.
she's talking about.
Here's another idea you
Yeah.
can test. AdMob provides an automated
They're
feature.
they're
for
joking
ad
in the
network
chat. I'd rather
optimization
listen to her
called
than Mark
VMO.
Sardi, but yeah, we're kind of
Set
like
up a
hitting into
test
that
to
territory,
see
right,
which one
Chase?
earns you
Where
more,
in
VMO
panel,
or
we're
inputting
like,
CPMs manually. One last note on this tool, and this is my personal favorite. This tool is built on the same experiment infrastructure that we use for Google search and for all of Google's internal analysis. That means your
They don't
tests
got the
will be
wrap it up
backed by
box.
the same stability and
Wrap
statistical
it
rigor
up.
that we expect of all of Google's product launches.
Wrap
As you've
it
heard,
up.
Wrap it
taking a
up, B.
player-first approach can help you build a
Gotta wrap
thriving
that gavel
business
up too,
around
B.
your game.
Yeah.
You can create an engaged player base by bringing in more players through open testing ads in app campaigns and improved asset reporting. Improve your game by learning from your players with the games report from Google Analytics and the mobile app and cohort report from AdMob. And maximize the value of your player base by finding the right monetization strategy through A/B testing your AdMob setup. All of these new ads tools can help you reach
Duncan,
a
they may
wider
not
player
do a
base
traditional
and
5-minute
sustain
wrap-up.
success at scale. That's all I have. Thank you so
Maybe
much.
not.
Here
I'll
we
be
go.
handing it off to Rob, who will talk about how Google Cloud can help you scale your infrastructure.
Thank you, Abita. I'm Rob Martin, Chief Architect for Gaming at Google Cloud. Abita just talked
Lame.
about the importance of developing a player-first monetization strategy. At Google Cloud, player experience comes first. Our goal is to help you simplify infrastructure management, focus on delivering great cross-platform player experiences at a global scale. We do that in 3 ways. First, we provide highly performant and globally available infrastructure to power seamless gaming experiences. Second, we give you the data analytics and insights you need to optimize your game's performance. And finally, we help reduce the management complexity and lock-in with our open source gaming solutions. Everything we do starts with our globally available infrastructure. Our powerful compute offerings, such as compute-optimized VMs that run at 3.8 gigahertz, are spread across our 22 regions, including gaming capitals such as Tokyo, Osaka, and Seoul. We've previously announced 3 more regions to come in Las Vegas, Jakarta, and Warsaw, and earlier this month we announced new regions in Delhi, Doha, Toronto, and Melbourne. This is the same technical infrastructure that makes low latency experience on Stadia
10
possible.
minutes for Stadia talk.
These locations are tied together by our private fiber optic cable network. We have 2 tiers of network offerings, but our premium network tier is what we recommend
hear the
for
word
games.
Stadia?
This
Yep.
keeps traffic
Pay
on
attention to
Google's
this, though, 'cause
private
he just
fiber
dropped
network
some
as long
important
as
things.
possible and exits to the public internet at the closest location to the player. Apex Legends with multiplay is one of the many games that are utilizing Google Cloud's infrastructure to power their game, reaching millions of players in record amounts of time during their launch.
Whoa.
Hit games produce billions and billions of data points per day. Embedded within those events are the insights
me.
that can change your game from a flash in the pan to a sustainable long-term success. Google Cloud offers a complete smart analytics platform to help you capture, process, and analyze data so that you can give your user acquisition, live ops, and game
did you
development
catch that, MM, that
teams
he was
the
talking
insights
about
they
the
need to be
major
successful.
Areas like Tokyo,
BigQuery
Seoul,
is the cornerstone of our smart
and
analytics
they're going to
platform.
expand to places
It's
like
a
Warsaw and
scalable,
Las Vegas.
serverless
Yeah,
data
the Asian
warehouse
markets.
that can
Yeah,
handle
I
large
caught that.
amounts of data seamlessly.
Yeah, that's where
Our
they're at
analytics
now, but they want to
platform
expand
comes
to
with
these
ML
other ones as
capabilities
well.
built
Ah.
in. So your
I gotta go back and
analysts
listen
can
exactly
access
what
the
you
data
said.
they
Okay,
need
yeah,
in real
yeah.
time and build ML models directly inside BigQuery with
fact, let me back
familiar
up.
SQL. BigQuery ML has expanded functionality to address even game-specific needs such as k-means clustering to build player segmentation and matrix factorization to bring advertising
to
and
12
product
minutes.
recommendations. King is using BigQuery to analyze billions of events per day from their hit games. This data is used for a variety of purposes, but one of the cooler and more productive use cases is in training ML player models that can simulate playtesting, reducing the time it takes to test individual levels from days to hours. Your data scientists
Las
will
Vegas,
also have
Jakarta, and
access to
Warsaw.
AutoML tables.
So it means that they're going to be putting
AutoML
in
allows you to
infrastructure in
produce
those places.
state-of-the-art ML models on structured data with just one click. Jam City is using AutoML
That just
tables
means
to
more
predict player
server blades,
behavior
more
in
server
a short amount
capacity.
of time. By combining those insights with their Google AdWords spend, they're able to increase the ROI on their user acquisition and their revenue. Finally, Google Cloud is working with the games
still
industry
playing
to
Stadia
build
talk.
open source solutions
Bingo.
that fit the needs of developers. OpenMatch, co-founded with Unity, provides a flexible, extensible, and scalable matchmaking
He did just say finally, didn't he?
It gives you control over your custom match logic, but frees you from the complexity of
Stadia's gonna
managing
get
the
10 minutes.
underlying infrastructure. Agonace, co-founded with Ubisoft, provides a simple
There's an
open source
Ubisoft
solution
reference.
for game server scaling and management. Since
Interesting.
it's based on Kubernetes, it can run on bare metal or multiple clouds with standard Kubernetes tooling.
Ooh.
Agonace is ideal for managing game server deployments on a regional level. But we want to make managing a global game simpler. And that's why we're happy to announce Google Cloud Game Servers, or GCGS, now in beta. Game Servers is a managed service offering for Agonace that reduces the complexity of
that's a
running
big deal, y'all.
Agonace clusters globally. It provides developers with choice, simplicity, and flexibility. Developers running Agonace in production can simply opt into the managed service by registering Agonace clusters with the Game Services API. You
So
can
if one
opt
server
out
goes
and choose
down-
to manage these Agonace clusters yourself at any time. Game Servers also lets you define custom policies that are suited to your global game. Finally, Game Servers will support Google Kubernetes Engine workloads in beta, but we know that avoiding being locked into a specific environment is important to developers, and we're working on multi-cloud support.
Can I tell y'all what I think
which
this
will
is
come
setting up?
later in the year.
Definitely.
If your game is running on Stadia,
Remember we
Google
talked about
Cloud
that
is the
MMO
back
RPG?
end, your players can have a more consistent experience, as both
That
Stadia
big game
and
that's
GCP
24/7,
have a common technical
living, breathing world.
infrastructure. Of course, Stadia games can run on
That's going
any
to make it
cloud,
easier for them to do that.
and Google Cloud
what's going
supports
on
all
here?
platforms. We'll hear more about Stadia from Aaron shortly. Finally, we're working
Why
with
is
a
that
wide
again
range
mentioned?
of publishers, studios, and developers to bring these innovations to the gaming industry. No matter what genre or platform your game is on, or where in the world it's running, we can help support your game.
There it is, gentlemen.
We're
Activision
proud
Blizzard.
to have recently
What?
announced
No way.
a strategic partnership with Activision Blizzard to power their games on Google Cloud. And we look forward to working with all of you on your next big hit. And now I'd like to pass it to Aaron, who's going to tell us about the latest opportunities for game developers on
Go
Stadia.
on, you know you want to.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rob. I'm Aaron, and I lead the creative team for research and development at Stadia. You've just heard how
There we
Google
go.
Cloud can help you scale
There's some
your
big
game
news items
around
there.
the globe. I'm here to share how Stadia is empowering you with new opportunities on our platform. It was just over 1 year ago at Moscone Center in San Francisco, kicking off the Game Developers Conference, where we first unveiled our vision
did the
for
thing with,
Stadia to
Jade
developers,
a couple
players,
weeks ago,
and
right?
YouTube creators. Since last March, we've created multiple social channels, a community blog, and our own series of direct-to-consumer digital press conferences called Stadia Connect, all of which are starting to build conversation and community for Stadia. Gamers across
Is that a
North
hint of
America
a game
and Europe are now playing
on our
newly released
t-shirt?
games on Stadia,
Yep.
like Doom Eternal,
Honk.
across TV, PC, laptops, and a variety of phones. Before now, a brand new AAA title playing on a low-end PC or a smartphone would have been unthinkable to players. But for today's presentation, we're focused on a singular audience, game developers. We'll share how our team at Stadia is expanding partnership capabilities for developers of all sizes as we tackle the future of gaming in the cloud together. A year ago at GDC, we showed you the long-term vision for Stadia. Thank you to the many of you who have partnered with us on the beginning of this journey. We showed you the vision of a platform that delivers your content to the world in a brand new way. Since November, you've shipped more than 30 games and more than 60 game updates, all of which were delivered to players in seconds without waiting for downloads. Thank you for all of your hard work over these first few months. Last March, we showed you a vision of players getting into your games easier than ever. Today, a brand new player can sign up to Stadia, check their connection, and get into your game in under 4 minutes. And players who already have a Stadia account can get into your game in an average of 9 seconds. We showed you players interacting with your games in new ways through YouTube with features like crowdplay. In the last few months, we've delivered those APIs to many of you who are working to integrate and test them in your upcoming games shipping this year. We showed you players watching videos about your games on YouTube and jumping directly into them in seconds. Later this year, we'll roll this out globally for all partners. We promised you development tools that would work with your existing workflows, letting you bring your best ideas to Stadia. Since then, we've worked with hundreds of you to start your work on Stadia, with more than 120 games shipping this year alone.
No date.
Together, we're delivering on the vision to bring your games to more players, in seconds, and in more places than ever before. And the immediacy of Stadia extends to the development community as well. We've heard from you that the ease of sharing a build across the world is a much simpler process on Stadia. Just upload a build and teams can click a link and test instantly. Distributed teams like Chump Squad, makers of Kine, can have artists in Australia and QA in Poland and collaborate more efficiently thanks to what it means to create games on Stadia in the cloud. And the support from the game development community only continues to grow. We have hundreds of titles in active development from the best studios in the world, from teams with incredible history like Electronic Arts and Ubisoft to immensely talented development studios like Robot Entertainment. We're also thrilled to announce a new partnership with the accomplished team at Splash Damage in London. In the coming months, we'll be sharing more about the game we've been working on together, and we're so excited to see how it comes to life exclusively on Stadia. The developers we're working with continue to inspire us as we grow our platform. It takes a leap of faith to step into something this new and different. Thank you for your hard work.
Boom.
In addition to these partnerships,
Exclusive game
we're
coming
also
to Stadia?
investing heavily in our own first-party efforts under the Stadia Games and Entertainment division, led by Jade Raymond. Over the past 6 months, we've opened 2 new studios, one in Playa Vista, led by Shannon
just before
Studstill,
that,
who previously
Supermassive was
ran
mentioned.
Sony Santa Monica, the
Yeah, I
studio
saw that too.
responsible for God of War. And the other studio in Montreal is led by Sebastian Puel, the executive producer of Assassin's Creed Black Flag and many other hit Ubisoft titles. We'll continue to invest in these studios and deliver world-class AAA content to Stadia. In December, we acquired Typhoon Studios, creators of the critically acclaimed Journey to the Savage Planet, which brings Alex Hutchinson, creative director of Far Cry 4, and Reed Schneider, former head of production at Warner Bros. Games Montreal, to the Stadia family, along with the rest of their fantastic development team at Typhoon. With strong creative teams and infrastructure in place, SG&E's first-party efforts are focused on utilizing Google's unique technologies to create richer, more immersive experiences that are only possible in the cloud. We're also building publishing services that bring together the best of Google. We want to help you publish your game on any screen, playable anywhere.
What was that?
Together, we will discover and create
said them
even
showing
more
all
unique
those
ways
folks?
to transform interactive
That's a mic drop.
entertainment. If you're interested in joining us on this adventure and having your game published exclusively on Stadia, please reach out at stadia.dev. As a new platform, we could only work with a select few of you for our launch
We need
in
to get a
November.
picture
Thank you for your
of
patience
all
and
the
understanding.
developers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now that we're a few months down the road, we've improved our tools and built new partnerships that will let us work with many more of you. We're now ready to take the first steps to welcome more independent developers to Stadia. To do this right, we started by taking a step back and talking to you about what you're trying to accomplish, what you need, and how you want to work with us. So today,
there's a
we're
shot at
announcing
Business
Stadia
Insider.
Makers, a self-publishing program for experienced, independent game developers.
Uh-oh.
For these first steps into self-publishing, Stadia Makers is partnering with Unity, a team with a history of building new platforms hand-in-hand with the development community.
Nice.
Unity has worked with thousands of game developers over the years. Today, Unity has optimized support for Stadia and more than 25 other platforms and powers 50% of all new games. Launching a game on a new platform can be a challenge. There's no way around it. And there's even more to consider when that new platform lives in the cloud, which is why we've worked with Unity to
Was
define a
Epic Games
committed technical support
mentioned?
structure coming from experts on the Unity
I
team.
don't think so. I didn't
In
see
addition,
them.
the Stadia Makers program will include funding
I
from
see
us at
that's a
Stadia and
Fortnite
up to 5 pieces of
the
development
chat.
hardware for your team. And we won't be impacting your list of target platforms beyond asking you to ship on Stadia alongside your other planned SKUs. But of course, the journey to launch is only one piece of the puzzle. it's also important that we deliver a valuable marketplace to our development partners, a marketplace where your game can be discovered once it's time to launch. That's why we're keeping the list of approved developers for Stadia makers small as we take steps towards broader support for independent developers. For this initial stage of our self-publishing efforts with Stadia makers, we're looking for experienced game developers who have shipped games in the past and are using Unity 2019.3 or later for their in-development title. If you're interested in getting involved with Stadia makers and being one of the first approved developers to self-publish on Stadia with technical assistance from Unity, head over to stadia.dev and apply. We'll also continue to expand our engine support for Stadia makers, so long as we can guarantee a strong developer support system before doing so. Part of that ongoing investment in developer support comes in the form of new developer tools as well. We're happy to announce new integrations with Backtrace, which makes it easy for Stadia developers to push crash reports from their Stadia games to Backtrace, enabling them to capture and monitor errors, prioritize issues to work on, and get everything they need to debug and resolve gameplay impacting problems. And Vivox, which delivers scalable, feature-rich, and proven in-game voice and text chat. It's used by some of the world's largest developers like Ubisoft and Riot Games. Vivox is fully engine agnostic, as well as being cross-platform. And the same goes for our last new tool of the day. PlayFab, from our friends at Microsoft, a complete back-end platform for live games with managed game services, real-time analytics, and live ops, so Stadia developers can boost revenue and increase player engagement across any engine or platform. And this is all in addition to the suite of tools that already exist on Stadia today, including RenderDoc, Gapid, and tools from AMD, Intel, and others. These tools are just the beginning for where game development is headed on Stadia. We have a lot more in store. We're deeply investing in the field of machine learning to bring new workflows and approaches to the practice of game development. The Stadia research and development team and I have put together a full breakdown of the current state of our work in machine learning in our talk following this keynote, and that's just one of the many great talks from Team Stadia and the rest of Google. Thank you for your time today. Stadia has made exciting progress as a platform in just a few short months since launch, and none of it would be possible without you. We're excited to hear from you on stadia.dev, whether you're interested in partnering with Stadia Games and Entertainment to build the next big hit, or interested in bringing your Unity title to our new self-publishing program, Stadia Makers. Now I'll hand it back to John to share some final thoughts.
Thanks, Aaron. You've just heard the latest announcements across Google, focused on addressing some of your biggest challenges and setting you up for success for years to come. Android and Play are making it easier to build games and reach new audiences. Ads are introducing ways to grow your business and earn more by increasing focus on your players.
Years to come.
Cloud is helping you scale your game globally with ease. And Stadia shared some exciting new platform opportunities. Here at Google, our teams are working together to build solutions that will empower you throughout the game development lifecycle and beyond. We're here to continue partnering with all of you to create the next generation of games, to connect with new players, and to scale your business around the world today and tomorrow. I invite you to learn more about what we've shared today by tuning into our mobile, cloud, and Stadia sessions. And from all of us, thank you for keeping this community thriving. The future of gaming is already here, and we can't wait for what comes next.
All right. Okay, so there's other videos. I know we're going to turn over to Brian, but real quick, what are the mic drops from this presentation? Real quick before we head on over. Uh-oh.
All right, go ahead.
I'm here. I was going to say the developers that were announced.
Okay.
Well, let me rephrase that. We already knew these developers.
Mm-hmm.
The folks that came on board to Stadia. Alex Hutchinson, Shannon Studstill.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they showed that again was their attempt to say, we're making moves. So those of you out there that are saying we're not doing anything, we are. Jesus, man, I lost it already. I was going to say the developers. God, they talked about announced, they partnered with that game. Well, let me rephrase that. Jesus.
The Splash Damage team?
Yes. That's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
That could be one of the single A exclusives that are coming to Stadia that's coming out of a partnership with Stadia Games and Entertainment, even though they may not have developed it solely.
Yeah, recently they've been developing like Xbox titles, so like the Gear series, Halo. So, I mean, they got some pretty big heavy hitters in their catalog.
Right.
All right. So here's what we're going to do, guys. For as long as Chase can stay and Duncan can stay, or Brian may be flying solo for a little bit until I get back, we're going to head on over to Brian's channel. So I'm dropping the link right now. It's also below. So head on over to that link because Brian is going to go live. And if you guys can follow up, I guess, Brian, you can send them your StreamYard link.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will do.
But I'm going to cut. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I believe Eddie, Stadia Player One, will be joining me too. So it could be a party.
Oh, okay. Good.
I've dropped up the developers on my Twitter.
So you got the picture up?
Oh,
Yep.
Goodness. Oh, silky now. Okay. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This is awesome. I mean, look, guys, again, and they'll elaborate too on Brian's channel. This platform is not going anywhere. And I do think their focus on Unity is a shot through the bow to Unreal, and deservingly so. You know, I mean, Unreal's not going anywhere. Believe you me, it's not going anywhere. But Google's letting them know that, hey, we're not going to sit here and send 20 thread tweets. We just mean business. So some big moves just mentioned, and hopefully we'll hear a lot more. So I'm gonna cut and run, but definitely go over. I'm gonna drop the link one more time. Please head on over to Brian's channel right now. He's going to go live and they're going to continue the discussion. All right. So with that said, everybody have a wonderful gaming day, and I'll see you on the flip side. Peace.
Later, fellas.
All right.
Later.